here is our blackberry bush. You can see we have a thorned variety. We also have some new seed heads right here on the top. Hopefully these will have blackberries as time progresses, but we have to actually see there's a ton of new growth in this plant. It's pretty much everywhere. You can see kind of right here where we've got the actual seed pods growing here, or the flowers, and all this, bright green new growth. So it's actually doing really well. Let's go take a look at the satsuma tree. So our satsuma tree is doing pretty good too. Like all young citrus plants, it has these spines on it. And one interesting thing about this plant is all of the plant is Arctic frost satsuma. We don't have any rootstock here. There's no graft, which does make it a bit of an interesting thing. I guess it's to keep the cold hardiness of this plant. And it's got a few leaves here from when I first bought it, transplanting it. But let's take a little closer look, and you'll be able to see some of the new growth. So right in here you can see some of the new growth. We've got some leaves just beginning to pop up here, and then these little growths right here on all the sides. So it's actually looking pretty nice. This happened within the last week or so, so that'll make for a pretty healthy plant once it all is said and done. So the satsuma tree is pretty awesome. Hopefully it'll be healthy. I mean, we have some bits of dead plant right here, but I got those when it came with it, so I can't do much about that right now. So this is my Bambusa multiplex. It's an Alphonse Carr. It's actually a variegated variety. You can see kind of on some of the stems here how you got the green and the yellow. And it's actually just woken up for the season. You can see it's putting out some new leaves here. And it's also got, back in here, a new shoot right in here. You can see it coming up here. So hopefully it'll be doing pretty well this year. Just gotta wait and see. It's had some rough years in the past, having no light and falling over in windstorms, and God knows what else has happened to it. It's been in droughts, it's been in hailstorms, it's lived a life. It's only 5 years old. Well, it is 5 years old, and it's pretty tiny. Usually these things should be 10 feet tall by now, but we're trying our best, so we'll see how it goes in the future, and let's go ahead and check out something else. So first of our plants, we have the cucumber plants here. So they're actually doing pretty excellent. They have some pretty good growth. They did have some damage here. They actually got caught out in a windstorm, and some of the leaves were hurt a little bit, but for now they're just sitting here in their little holes in the ground. Eventually I'll plant them in there. I've created a trellis for them, but just trying to keep them moist and trying to keep them happy. Here's just a close-up of one of the plants. You can see it's really healthy in there. It's got a lot of good growth. Just kind of plugging away. So once the cucumbers are ready to go on here, this is the homemade trellis I created for them. It's just a fence stake with 2 bamboo stakes and some paracord tied between it. Nothing fancy. I'm hoping it'll hold up to the weight of the fruits, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So moving on, we've got our chive plants, and they're doing pretty well as well. We have the chives coming up, or the green onions actually. They still have little seed pods on them for now, but they're actually having their secondary stalks come in. You can see down there. So they're pretty happy. I have about 6 of them, and there's about 2 seedlings in each of the cups. The cool thing about chives or green onions is that you only really need a few, but I guess they actually germinated pretty well. So it's a pretty nice thing for me just to be able to have so many of them. So my chive plant is also doing really well. I got this from my parents about 6 months or so ago. It just lives in this pot here, and it's having the time of his life. We use it probably about once every week or so, just cutting off bits of it, but it just comes back, no problems, and it's pretty much impossible to kill. So if you want an easy to grow plant, this is definitely the solution. And we also have some tomatoes. This little guy actually had a little brother right there. I didn't see him. I had tried to dispose of all the secondary plants. I put about 2 or 3 seeds in each cell, and I actually separated these out. So this guy sprouted relatively recently. I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do with him. But the main tomato is doing pretty incredibly. I just fertilized it with about a half strength of tomato fertilizer. So for, I think, acidic plants. So we'll just let him grow. Now all the plants are actually staying outside for the entirety of the time. They're just being acclimated to the environment out here, so it's pretty nice for them. They don't have any troubles hardening off or anything like that, so it just makes the transition a bit easier for them. Although I did have to repot the cucumbers pretty early because they were initially started in seed cartons and they were outgrowing those pretty quickly, so they're going to stay in those pots for, I don't know, maybe another week or so, and then I'll put them right into the ground. So as for flowers, this is what we've got going on, just a cell or a seed tray here. We've got some Johnny Jump Ups, about, I don't know, 9 total. I put 3 seeds in each one. We've got some Impatiens, Cosmos Orange, Forget-Me-Nots, Cosmos Mixed, so these guys are red, pink, and white. And then we got some Delphinium, which also should be pretty cool, big purple blooms on those big stalks. So I've got a couple different sizes here. We got some, smaller ones, some, taller ones, and a couple in the middle. So this should be pretty nice in the front yard once I get everything up and running. But I just planted these things about 1 day ago, so they're still pretty small. I wouldn't expect any of them to come up, for at least another 4 or 5 days. But we'll just wait and see, and see how that goes. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for watching the first post here. Just a little trip around my garden. You can kind of see what plants I've got going on, and what I've just started, and what's already been here for a few years. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please tune in next time, and we'll give you an update on what's going on. Well, this is Gnome Gardener, and I'll see you next time.